I'm back from France. Hello, hello. Happy to be back. I was gone for a full week. I think some of the longest amount of time I've gone without any stream-related work at all. Like, I didn't go to shoot a video. I didn't do the yard on the side. I ended up doing a couple mogul mails there, but that wasn't because I had to. I just did them. So going into it, it was very relaxed. It was not very stressful. And I basically, if you guys don't know, had my first family reunion in over 5 years. Because COVID, and then after that, it just took a while to get everybody together. But finally, you know, I talked to my mom a bit, and she had the idea. She was like, well, we could maybe do a family reunion again. And I'm in a position, thanks to you guys, where I can, like, you know, buy like a nice Airbnb for everybody, you know, and then everyone could just chill. So that's what I did. That's what happened. And we tried to coincide it with my grandfather turning 90. 90, bro. First thing he says, I'm not even fucking with you. First thing he says, he goes, profitez-nous. We better have a good time here because I'm not making it to 100. I was like, whew. It's like noon, bro. Been heavy for noon. When you're 90, you just get to say shit like that. 90 is old, though. I will say it is old. I looked this up. I was like, how old is 90? I looked it up. He was born in 1933. A couple things that happened in 1933. FDR became president. A guy named Hitler became chancellor of Germany. The game of Monopoly was invented. That blew my mind. They didn't have Monopoly, man. And so basically that was the goal. The goal was to go to France, hang out with family. But I did happen to have a secret second goal. My secret second goal was to go to France and get mistaken as a French person. You know, I talk a lot on this stream about how I'm French. I don't bring it up too much. I bring it up a reasonable amount. But I don't actually know, right? Like, I'm stacked up next to Shake, Drizzle, and Aiden. So compared to them, I'm really French. But in the pits of it, I wanted to be mistaken as a Frenchman. I wanted somebody who is French from France to be like, it is a nazar of me. That was my goal. Of course, hang out with family first. Second goal, be mistaken as a French person. And so again, it's a whole family reunion. And there's about like a rotating cast of 20 or so people who are going to this place. But the main core people who are traveling to our bed and breakfast together is me, my mother, my stepfather, Peter, and my sister. We're all traveling together. I land first. And my job as the person who landed first is to get our rental car for the week, right? Our transportation vehicle. And I was honestly a little bit excited about this, okay? Because I don't get to use my French very often. And so my French is a bit rusty. And I was a bit nervous that I wouldn't speak very well. And if my goal is to get mistaken as a Frenchman, it would be good to know what level I'm at. So I walk over. And there's this giant fucking like rental car desk area. There's like 8 different companies you can pick from. However, there's actually only one company you can pick from because every single desk, even though it's 2 p.m., has nobody working there except for Budget Airlines. This is not an ad. Budget Airlines just had the only people working there. I assume everybody else was on strike or a smoke break because I am in France after all. So I go up to the only available woman. And I try so hard. I put so much sauce on my first opening. I'm like, bonjour. And instantly I can tell that did not play very well. But she, you know what? At least she flatters me. She replies in French. She goes, bonjour, monsieur. Qu'est-ce que vous voulez aujourd'hui? Like, what do you want? And we go through it. And I start to realize I can kind of get my ideas across. Not only am I speaking French, I'm also dropping some lull W's. Because at a certain point, she goes, what car do you want? It was a guy and a man and a woman working together. And the line I dropped back after she asked what car I want, I said, give me something dope because my current car is a piece of shit. And that got lull W's. Instantly they go, okay. We'll get you something quite quick. And the car they end up picking out for me is a BMW M Series. Okay, which I'm like, hell yeah, dope. And my mother and my sister land. And we go on our way to our accommodation. The location's, dude, it's fucking beautiful. It's an Airbnb. My mom's the one that picked it out. It's an Airbnb where usually like a family will go, but we just rented the whole thing out, which was perfect. And it was 8 bedrooms, 8 bathrooms, 8 kitchenettes. Basically, every room was its own little studio apartment. and they had 8 of them, which was perfect for again, the size of the family with about 20 or so people rotating in and out. I think I have a video of it. So this is the view from just the backyard. That's crazy. It had a tennis court, dude. A tennis court. So, you know, very happy with the place. And then I get to see my family. Again, first time in like 5+ years that I've seen a lot of the family. Because COVID and you know, it's just hard for everybody to meet. And in this game of wanting to be mistaken as a Frenchman, there's nobody who delivers the truth more painfully than your family. Right? They do not sugarcoat shit. And my family was not any different. They were not sugarcoating shit for me at all. The first thing my aunt says to me, by the way, she comes up to me and she looks at me like this. She goes like this. Haven't seen her in 5+ years. She goes, and then she backs up. She goes, "Your mustache, it is not even. Why do you have it like that?" I was like, okay, I don't know. I thought it looked good. Like, it's like my YouTube chat all over again. And so there's 3 examples of how painfully un-French I actually am that were made aware to me by my family. The first one, if you don't know, in France, they have a very specific greeting. All right. I think it's endemic to France. I don't know where else in the world they do it, but they have a greeting known as the bees. All right. The kisses. And the way it works is you just walk up to somebody, usually like a family, friend of a family, maybe a friend even. And then you put your cheek on their cheek and then you make a kissy noise. But depending where you are in France, they change the amount of kisses. It can go from 1 kiss all the way to, I've seen a 4 kiss before, maybe even a 5 if they're on Molly. But they do it, you don't know. Okay? And so with my family, it was all easy. All right. And I was kind of getting the gist of things. And with my family, they were all doing 3. They're all doing 3 dots. I was like, okay, we're doing 3. It's a 3 vibe. Easy. Right? No problem. I can do 3 all day. So I'm doing it. And then somebody I don't know comes into the picture. It was a friend of one of my aunts. Never met her before in my life. And she walks up and she's like, bonjour. And I'm like, bonjour. And she goes in for the bees. And I'm like, easy. I got this. So I got 1, 2. And then I go for the 3rd and I'm here. And I realize our cheeks are not touching. And when I look up, she's already turned away. She's not looking at me at all. I'm just sitting there like this. And because I felt kind of awkward about it, I try to play it off cool. I had an apple in my hand. This is real. I had an apple in my hand. I pretended I was biting an apple. I went like this. And I took a bite of the apple. What I didn't know is that my aunt was staring at me as I was doing that and started busting out laughing. And I have proof. Without hesitating, pulls out her phone and takes a picture and then posts it in the family group chat. Within 12 seconds of me doing it, same aunt that made fun of my mustache. I have a picture of me sitting there like an asshole with my apple in hand. Look. I'm so painfully un-French. I couldn't even do the greeting right. I don't know how she captured it that quick. But I'd fucked up the bees, the kisses. I didn't get the right number. I got 2, 3. I did 3 instead of, I should have done 2. I don't know why. And so that's lesson 1 about how painfully un-French I am. But you know what? That's a greeting. It's a mistake. It happens. And that was also with family. And so I didn't feel as bad about it until we went to lunch. Now, French people are very particular with their food. And at a restaurant, I didn't know that there's any specific rules. So we're going around. It's like 1 p.m. and we're ordering. You know, I get my meal. It's fine. And then we're ordering drinks at the same time. And everybody's ordering wine. Again, it's 1 fucking p.m., dude. And so they're getting white wine. They're getting red wine. Peter got a beer. And it comes over to me. And every day I was in France, I was running. First thing I would do when I wake up, instantly I would go on a run because it's really fucking nice weather and because there's no gym there. And so I wouldn't have a morning coffee. I would just wake up, go, and then I'd have my coffee around lunchtime. And so when they came to meal order, I was like, oh, can I just have a cappuccino? And instantly, somebody at the table, same aunt, goes, "Boof, you've really lost your Europeanness, Ludwig." And everybody starts laughing, including the waitress. I was like, what is going on here? And then somebody else at the table goes, "Yes, it is true. The Americans, they are not as fine as us." I'm like, oh, it's unrefined that I'm having a fucking cappuccino. You guys are drinking at 1 goddamn p.m. I'm having a cappuccino because I need a little kick. That's that weird. But, you know, the week progresses and we have a really good time. Like, most of the days are filled up. Like, it's a really relaxed lifestyle. And towards the end of the trip, I was asking, just for a confidence boost, my family, if my French was better now than it was when I was younger. And there's no particular reason it would be because I've not been studying. It's not like my French should be better because I've been practicing my French. I just am older, and because I was more immersed in it this week, figured I might have picked up some stuff. And to my surprise, my uncle was like, "Oh yeah, it's actually gotten a lot better." You know, you used to, when you were younger, fuck up all the articles, right? And if you've never taken French or Spanish, there's masculine and feminine articles for most words. And it's like the quickest telltale way to know if somebody is fluent or not is if they get the articles right or not. So I was flattered by this compliment for my uncle. That felt good. And I took that energy, you know, and I tried speaking as much French and exploring new words. And towards the end of the night, after dinner, we decided to play poker. And I was hooking in poker. And I'm not like a poker god, but like these people like didn't know that a straight beats 3 of a kind. Like, that's the level of people I was playing against. They would ask me, like, you know, what you should do. And I was like, "Oh yeah, I got it." And I'm trying to explain it in French. So I'm like, "Okay, yeah, this is a bad hand. Le main là, c'est pas bon." Without hesitation, my 10-year-old cousin goes, "Non, c'est la main. C'est pas le main. T'as dit le main. C'est la main." And corrects me. Just chump checks me in front of every... She's 10. If you've never been to the stream, I like to say that I speak French like a 7-8-year-old. Apparently, that's fucking wrong. Because the 10-year-old's chump checking me in front of the whole goddamn class. I think my French was closer to a 5-year-old. I'm getting rolled by my aunt and my little cousin. And so at this point, I'm not feeling very encouraged about my odds of being mistaken as a Frenchman. It is very clear that if I have any conversation that lasts more than 30 seconds, they'll know. And so eventually I try to just go out on the town, you know, stop talking to my family. I want to go into the wild and talk to random people. And the place we were staying at, it's called Saint Paul de Vence, which, if you're French or if you've been to France, is a very beautiful area. So beautiful that it's where artists would go to like get inspiration. And so we were close enough that it was like a 3-kilometer run to go here. So a couple of days I would just run here. One of the days after running here, I decided to go into the shops and try my luck just walking through, going into every shop and seeing if maybe somebody would maybe mistake me for a Frenchman. And I'm walking into shops of shit I don't even care about. Like, I walked into a nougat shop. They sell nougat. I don't like nougat. But I got so deep into a conversation with one of the ladies that I felt too awkward leaving, and I didn't feel like my French skill was high enough. I ended up getting so many fucking souvenirs of shit I don't give a fuck about because I wanted to just have a conversation with a random French person that badly. So I got Toblerone. We have this in America. But, you know, I wanted to learn the secrets. And so I'm in this nougat shop, right? And I'm talking to this lady, and I'm buying nougat. I don't know why the fuck I'm buying nougat. And as we're talking, right, she knows I'm not from France. She's like, "Oh, where are you from?" I'm like, "Oh, Los Angeles." She's like, "Ah, very cool." A guy walks by the shop, like on one of those quaint streets. He doesn't walk in. He just walks by the shop. And without hesitating, she just looks up and she goes, "Bonjour, monsieur." And the guy, not even like, he doesn't turn, he doesn't stop, he doesn't look in. He just tilts his head. He goes, "Bonjour, madame." And right there, I realized the secret that I had been missing this entire time. You see, the French people, they have very polite introductions and outros. This whole time, I just been trying to drop the stankiest bonjour of all time. But the secret is not that. It's saying bonjour, madame ou monsieur. Because the way I speak French is basically translating what I would say in English to French, because my brain is wired in English, right? We do not say in English, hello, mister. Ah, hello, missus. You'd be freak-like to do that shit. So I don't do that shit. They do that shit. And so then when I started walking into shops, if I would drop, this new tech that I learned, bonjour, madame, I realized it would elicit a different reaction than a tourist walking in just saying bonjour. And so now I'm armed with this new tech, and I get some cool trinkets. I got some stuff for the yard guys. I got some stuff for Cutie. It was great. Yada yada. And then I leave. I got to go back. All right, we're having another dinner with my grandpa. And then at this point in the trip, it's the final day, right? Like the days have gone by fast. We're basically like spending every day eating, drinking, smoking cigarettes. Like literally the final day, we spend 2 hours outside and my family's just chain smoking through cigarettes. And I'm sitting there and my flight is at 7 a.m., which means I have to leave at 5 a.m. And so my plan was to just like sleep as little as possible because I need to sleep on the plane to be able to adjust with like the time difference, a 9-hour time difference. So I'm sitting out there and I wanted to spend as much time with my family as possible. So I'm out there smoking cigarettes with them, or out there while they're smoking cigarettes, I should say. And, if you guys, I'm sure you've been around a cigarette in your life. It stinks. It stinks. And it also travels quick. And it sticks to clothes. And so I wake up at like 5 a.m. I'm miserable. I slept like 2 hours, right? I slept like a little bit. I slept like literally 2-3 hours. And my clothes smell like cigarettes. And I get into my BMW that I hate. And I start the drive to the airport, right? And I'm sad at this point too, because I'm also leaving my family. It was a really good time, and I realized that this is probably something that I will have to do annually. Like, I don't think it's like an option. I think it's like something I need to carve out a week for every year to spend time with family, because it's like, it's important. It's if you're happy with your family. Some people aren't. So family situations are always different. So I'm sad. I'm going home now. And again, it's really early. And so as I'm driving, I realize that although expertly navigated the car rental situation, did not really listen to what the lady said about returning the car. Because there was some weird ass confusing rules that you had to follow. And I didn't really get it. I was just trying to do the best that I could do. And it wasn't all super clear to me. And so as I'm driving the car back and I get to the airport, there are 4 different parking lots. One of them is the parking lot for rental cars, but I don't know which one. So I go to the first parking lot and it doesn't work. And so I go out and then I go to the second one. But what I realize is the exit to the second one brings you onto the highway. And I started to get a bit nervous because I don't have the time to go to the highway, take an exit, go back, take an exit, park, make it to my plane on time. And so I make what you could call a bit of a mogul move. I hop the curb, right? It's a beast car. It can hop the curb, no problem. It's a small curb. It's basically bumps. It's basically bumps. And it's 5 a.m., bro. Nobody's there. So I do it. I hop the curb. And you know what? To my credit, it goes flawlessly. However, just the way that my car was angled, I had to hit a really tight turn after, and I was too wide to like angle it properly, but I didn't really know that, so I just kind of ripped it to try to get into the third garage. And I heard while hitting that shit. And on the last fucking day, in the last goddamn hour, I am in France, where my only goal is to be mistaken as a Frenchman. I do the most American thing possible. I fucking scratch the car. Now, I don't even know how much this is worth yet, by the way. I don't know. I got all the insurance. I don't know how much this costs yet. I haven't found out. And then I finally find the keypad thing. I park the car. And at this point, I'm like depressed. Because I left my family. All right. I've scratched the fucking car. I smell like cigarettes. I didn't even get mistaken as a Frenchman the whole week. I'm just sad. So I walk into the airport, and for whatever reason, security's just backed up. It's 5 a.m. There's just so many people. And the French TSA agents, if I can do a quick rant, oh my God, are they miserable? They are miserable people. The French TSA agents, they feel like the smug French stereotype distilled into a human. So I'm in line, and I do everything I'm supposed to do, right? I'm not trying to get no smoke. I take out my fucking laptop. I take out my Switch. You know, I take everything out of my pockets. I'm not trying to fuck around. But there's this family in front of me who's having a bit of trouble. All right? And it's this larger, it's like 4 or 5 person large family, and it's a Chinese family. And it's the grandma specifically who's like, she's just beeping. I don't know what it is, but she's going through the metal detector. She's beeping. And so then the French woman, she hits one of these, brings her over to the pat down. And so I go through the metal detector. I'm fine. But my bag gets pulled aside. I don't know why. I literally have no idea. And so I'm just sitting there, and my bag's waiting. And so I'm just watching this unfold. And the lady's doing the same thing. She would do the back presses, and then she'd be like, lève ta pied, like lift your foot. And then the lady like clearly doesn't speak French. So the TSA agent would be like, please lift your foot, madame, your foot, thank you. And then finally, like, you know, it's all done. Family goes. And that's the lady who's supposed to help me with my bag. And as she walks over, I shit you not, as she walks over, she goes, les Chinois. Which is the Chinese. Curse the Chinese for inventing gunpowder. That's what she says walking over. And I'm like, whoa, out of pocket? You know? I mean, to be fair, she also said the Americans. So I don't think it's specifically against the Chinese. I think she hates all people that aren't French and don't speak perfect French. So I'm stressed. So she has my bag. She's like, she lifts the bag and she, without looking up at me, goes, bonjour, monsieur. And at this point, I'm conditioned because I'd been at St. Paul de Vence. I know what to say. So I go, bonjour, madame. And I don't know if it's because I smelled like cigarettes or because I looked like I wanted to kill myself. But she says in French, she goes, finally a French person. And it took a racist TSA agent to get mistaken as a Frenchman. She reaches into my bag. Do you know the thing that triggered my bag to get pulled aside? She pulls it out. It was a little jar of foie gras, which is like one of the most iconic French dishes. It's just duck liver. And she pulls it out, and in French again, she goes, ugh, you know the best. And then she puts it back in the bag. And I'm sitting there conflicted. Because on one end, I did it. I got mistaken as a Frenchman. All I had to say was, bonjour, madame, and then merci, au revoir. On the other hand, she was probably racist. But I did it. Hey, we take that. That's a, you know what? Maybe we take that. I don't know. I did take my bag, and then I took my ass over to the US of A. And I think from now on out, I have to correct myself. I don't speak French like a 7-year-old. I speak French like a 5-year-old. But if it's with a racist, it might just be good enough to confuse them. So maybe, you know, we're working on it. It's a little level up. Baby steps, they say. Baby steps.